Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody, welcome back to another pre-market stream. I was having some trouble with YouTube this morning, so hopefully everything is working properly now. And yeah, it looks like everything is starting to work correct. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I was having some trouble with the stream this morning. Let's just forget about it and move on. All right, cool. So, anywhooser. The main stocks we'll be watching today are obviously right on the screen or on your screen, wherever that may be. So SAEX, MYOV are the two main penny stocks to watch today. Home Depot and Kohl's are two earnings reports to watch today. So anyways, let's get into it. So first one we'll be watching. Let me take that off. All right, first one we'll be watching is SAEX. Well, one of the ones we'll be watching is SAEX. So this is a really, to me, I feel that this is a very good formation so far today. This last movement here, this rolling over, not a big fan of that. But all in all, the whole formation, the whole pattern of the stock is really good. So if you look at it, they're probably going to have some type of news that drove the stock up. There's really no point of even talking about it. It's pretty much obvious that there was some type of news driving the stock up. 130 million worth of new projects. Okay, cool. All right, so we got news on the stock. There's heavy volume on the stock. If you look at the daily chart, you'll see that obviously the stock is up towards like $4, so it's starting to get up towards some more resistance marks, okay? But the chart formation is pretty decent. I mean, we have a strong push up. We've pulled back. We've had our main dip. We've bounced back up, and now we're kind of ho-humming along. So really, it kind of comes down to what happens in the next 20 minutes or so and how SAEX forms. But for right now, this is a pretty solid forming stock. So pretty much straightforward. You can either go with the easy go-to trade, which is, well, the simplistic viewable trade, which is over 475, a break over the pre-market high. Or you could try to, identify the move before the break of a pre-market high through, kind of trend lines and, breaking or shifting in momentum over trend lines. So nonetheless, SAEX right now, stock is very bullish looking, has some decent news. Definitely worth watching for a long play when the market opens, okay? I think didn't Now have earnings? I thought Now had earnings. I don't really know too much about the company. I know it's a massive, like the biggest oil company in the Middle East, and they're going to be going public. And so, yeah, it's definitely worth watching them as an IPO. So yeah, definitely going to be keeping an eye on SAEX long. Pretty much nothing more to it. I mean, it's pretty much a big bull flag, big bullish pennant, and hopefully it plays out correctly. Okay. Next one on the watch is MYOV. So MYOV, again, pretty much same thing. Had some good news here this morning. And now the stock popped from 6 to basically 10. We tried to press up over, like 11 here. We failed. We're coming back down. So I'm going to be watching the stock short bias. First, I'll watch it long bias. Then I'm going to watch it short bias. But still going to be having an open mind about this for potentially pushing higher. Because this move here, mid-morning right here, this big push up, that's a very, very bullish move. And it's given back all those gains pretty much immediately. So that gives it some bearishness. This move gives it some bullishness. So I'm kind of like on the fence 50-50 with it. So really just going to stand by, watch it. I'm hoping that it doesn't drop out pre-market because this stock is easy to borrow. So pretty much anybody can short it, which means I can short it. Now, the thing with that is when a penny stock is easy to borrow on Thinkorswim, it grabs the attraction of a lot of traders to short the stock who never typically short the stock. So they don't really know what they're doing or they just end up getting short squeezed out and causing the stock to explode. So first I'll be watching long because I know it's an easy to borrow stock. So I know that a lot of people are probably going to try to short it. And I know that most people can't short on Thinkorswim, a penny stock. So that means they don't have as much experience shorting, so they might be far more likely to squeeze them out or make it easier to squeeze those traders to the upside. So first going to be watching long bias for strong movement because A, it's gone from 6 to 10. It's an easy to borrow stock. There's lots of volume and there's news. So first long bias, and then if anything long fails and it starts to go bearish, then I'll watch short. But I'm not going to be like the sheep, right? Don't be like the sheep. Just because the herd can now start shorting, don't be the herd, right? So the herd and the masses will be able to short this stock today, which means I'm probably not going to want to focus shorting it, at least initially at first. Okay, so MYOV, good movements. We'll keep an eye on it today. Love it. You're able, Thinkorswim tells you if you can short a stock, it'll be on this top blue bar. It'll say easy to borrow or hard to borrow. If it's not on your screen, that's because you don't have the active trader window open. You see how it's gone now. If you open the active trader window, it will pop up. You see how it's there now. If you hit the active trader window and take away the active trader window, it's gone now. And if you hit it, it's going to be back up. So yes, you have to have the active trader window open to see if it's easy to borrow, no shares to borrow, or hard to borrow. Daniel, you never really know. I mean, you can get an idea sometimes, based on how the chart's moving and how the setup looks and, looking at the time in sales and the level two, but there's no sure sign that says, yes, it's going to go. It's more or less experience from you seeing certain situations that look similar to this one. So you see a stock, you think it might rip out of the gates. So you start looking and go, yeah, it's going to rip out of the gates. Then you buy it and it does. And that really just all comes from experience and watching other stocks and how they trade and the way that they move in those certain situations. It can give you the extra edge. But at the end of the day, the number one rule is don't trade anything out of the gates anyways, right? So what I would say to you is to stop trying to worry about catching the moves right out of the gates in the morning. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, the best moves happen there. Not really. Not really. The best moves really don't happen out of the gates. More oftentimes than not, the best moves don't happen out of the gates. Or good moves do, but it's so hard to catch them correctly that you end up losing more often than you do even winning. So if you just stop trying to catch those early morning moves out of the gates, then you'll stop losing on them, and then you'll start to focus on good, predictable setups. It's not about catching the best move or the biggest move. It's about trading predictability, because predictability leads to consistency, and consistency leads to money. Trying to catch a big move doesn't lead you to anything. It could lead you to big money, but there's going to be higher risk involved with it. There's going to be more uncertainty involved with it. So if you just stop trying to catch the early morning move, your trading is going to change dramatically. Okay. Me too, Mr. Custom. Me too. All right. So anyways, MYOV, heavy watch. All right, let's speed through this because I got in a little bit late. So KSS, which is Kohl's, they're down this morning pre-market. Now, typically I would say that I would want to short something like this, which I still do. I mean, believe me, I would love to short it to the grave. But what do we see happening right now? Can anybody point out what's going on right now that might deter myself from wanting to short the stock this morning? Anybody see anything that would make me deter away from shorting it? Possibly, not guaranteed, but something. that would make me maybe want to be long on it and not short. Yep. Yeah, there's a divergence here. Yep, you see us trailing down and the momentum is going up. So we do, in fact, have a positive or a bullish divergence. Does it guarantee that this is going to go up instead of down? No, but what it is telling us is that this whole time this has been going down, the momentum's been trailing up. So it's very hard for a move like this to continue or have a really, really big down move to the downside if, in fact, the momentum is trailing to the upside. So probably going to be a little bit hesitant to shorting at first. I want to kind of see how it moves, see how we look towards the bell. But for right now, to me, this is going to be on like a standby watch where it's like possible long, possible short. We're going to play this one by ear, right? Whereas like MYOV is like, okay, I'm going to watch long first. And SAEX, I'm going to watch long first. All right, next one on the list is Home Depot. Home Depot reported earnings. Now, Home Depot is kind of an awkward setup for me. I'm not normally the biggest fan of these. I'm not the biggest fan of these stocks that gap down on earnings and then kind of bounce up and then start trailing up. But with it doing this, normally I can't or I don't want to be short on something like this because if it comes all the way down and then it bounces and just grinds up, it's hard for me to want to be short because at the same time, it's like, well, if in fact you did want to go down, why did you come down, bounce up, and then start trailing up rather than just come down, bounce, and then fade back down this way, right? So if you really want to go down, why wouldn't you be going down is kind of the idea there. I know that sounds really stupid, but in fact, it's not. It's actually... So for this one, probably going to be on standby too, but watching it more long bias, if anything. So those are the two earnings reports, and it's just good to watch. Good to kind of spice it up, have a couple to play off of. So MYOV, Home Depot, Kohl's, and SAEX are going to be kind of the main ones to go to. I'm going to watch initially, and then afterwards, right, there's multiple more that I'm watching, but we did mention SAEX. It is something good to watch, and I would keep that on watch. Pad near the lows, downward wedge. Yeah, KRTX did have a really, really good move yesterday, and so I want to apologize to you guys for not mentioning it as a potential good trader. I pretty much just blew it off just because it was one of those stocks that I looked at. I'm like, you know what? I've seen stocks like this before, and more often times than not, they don't trade that well, and so I just kind of blew it off. Didn't give it the appropriate attention it needed because more often times I would say, yeah, just keep it on watch. But to me, I was like, man, I really could care less. I figured it would turn into like a big short trade because I couldn't short it. So, but yeah, I ended up thinking it was just going to kind of fade out, drop out, not really perform that well. So anyways, congratulations to those of you that traded it. Wow. Did I mention SAEX? Yeah, we mentioned that. ROKU is something that we're still watching. Oh, excuse me. But I'm going to be on the bear side. Jesus, why is it always so stupid sometimes? Okay, there you go. ROKU is something to be on the shorts. Well, let me take a second. Not that I really want to be on the short side of the stock, but with how it's been moving for so many days up, I can't really be on the long side anymore after kind of this more of a correctional pullback yesterday. And if anybody remembers the video that I posted just a couple days ago regarding it was like 2 days ago or a day ago regarding stop losses. Right, look at how the stock went up and made all these sweet gains to 165 and then down and then down and then down. So it just gave back all the money that it made yesterday. It gave back. So that is starting to give you bearish feel, bearish momentum. I would be trading this to the downside today, anticipating that maybe we get a test of like 151 or something. Wait, what did I say? Yeah, like 151 or something like that. Yep. So ROKU for me is more on the bear side now. Can you not? You can flatten a short. Yeah, flatten just means that you have, when you hit flatten, it pretty much just means that you're exiting a position fully at market, whether it's a short or a long play. Platform is TD Ameritrade, Thinkorswim. Yeah, I don't know whom the gentleman may be or the woman, but hello. Influx and Tala. Nah, you're talking about Tesla. We know what you're talking about. Yeah, so let's take a look. We'll take a look here quickly at kind of like MJ or just the marijuana market. So here's MJ, which obviously has just gotten annihilated. So I'd have to do more research to figure out what exactly the market is telling the market as to why this is going down. Right. I've already read there's been problems with supply. There's been problems with manufacturing and the growing process and distribution and packaging and this and that and this and that. So it's really just a bunch of news and things I've been hearing about the marijuana market that's causing this thing. But at the end of the day, I still see a future for marijuana. So yeah, definitely marijuana is in a bear market. It's in a bear market, without a doubt. But to me, it just seems like the price is just getting very, very good to buy. You know, the more it goes down, the better the buy. So this is right now my psychology on this right now is my psychology on the market is that when the marijuana first came onto the market, it was so hyped up. Everybody knew about it. It got bought up really quickly, and then it got pumped, right? And prices kind of flew up really fast, and everyone started buying and investing in it really quickly, anticipating that this is going to be the future, which it might as well be the future. But if it is going to be the future, the one thing that I will want to do is buy it at a really low price and not a high price. And the first thing that happened was marijuana went to a really high price on the stock market as soon as anything marijuana related hit the stock market. Everything went really high. CGC went high, Tilray went high. Everything started blowing up to a high price. And if it really is a future, I wouldn't want to be paying a high price now just to sell it at a, high price later. I want to be buying it at an extremely low price to sell it at a really high price later. So I really think that this bear market will eventually bounce back, and you're going to see the prices of the marijuana market in fact recover. How long, I don't know, but my psychology is this is a good old-fashioned bear market shakeout, and then 10, 15, 20 years from now, the prices are going to be great. I wouldn't be buying it right now. No, there's nothing about it. It's just this is the marijuana. MJ is pretty much the marijuana sector ETF. So by looking at this, would you want to be buying that? No, you wouldn't. No, because this is a straight up downtrend, right? So you wouldn't want to be buying this. The only thing you could buy is a counter trend trade, which is actually very hard to do, and I wouldn't recommend doing it. So until this bottoms out, starts to create higher lows, there's really no point in even trying to buy anything. MJ is the ETF. The stocks within MJ, I think, are like ACB, Hexo, CGC. I don't even think Cron's in it. Cron might be in it. Cron, maybe CNFF. I don't know. There's a handful of them. Yeah. So, not worth it for me to even try to buy MJ right now. And as Mr. Custom just said there in the chat, right, wait for it to break one of the first pivots, which would be something like this, at least getting over one of these big pivot marks and holding above it, right? So that's something else to consider. So yeah, I wouldn't even be buying MJ right now. Something else that I'll talk about is LK. I really think that you guys should be watching LK. Will it keep moving up? Maybe. I do think it'll probably get ready to pull back at least some, but they had just like one of the most insane earnings reports, and they're supposed to have an insane Q3 earnings reports. And there's already been rumors and talks that this stock is like the Starbucks is like Starbucks, but in China. They're opening stores like crazy. They're going through rapid growth. They're pretty much exploding as a business in a good way. So the earnings report came out, then it just ripped like crazy all the way to 30. So it's already had a really big move. But I do see this as something that has potential to continue going higher, maybe in a couple weeks to a couple months. So definitely keep an eye on LK or Luckin Brands. Luckin Brands. All right, we had explosive moves yesterday. I mean, look at the past couple days on this thing. I mean, earnings, consolidate, accumulation, rip. So I'm going to be watching this for a long today as well, just in case. TOS does not know. Well, yeah, it notifies you if a stock is an SSR if you're trying to short it, I believe, but other than that, no, it doesn't just tell you it's an SSR. FCEL, I think somebody asked me about that the other day too. No, I mean, there might be. I mean, sure, but oh yeah, no, this is right. Yeah, somebody asked me about it, and I said I would sell it. I wouldn't be buying this. I would sell it. It's probably not going to break above $1. MYOV is on our watch list today. Yes, we're going to be watching a long bias first before being short bias on that stock. OSTK, I would say probably don't buy OSTK for investing. I mean, you can trade it, sure, but I'm not exactly sure what it looks like either because it's been about a couple days since I seen it. So yeah, it really hasn't done anything since earnings. Yeah, I wouldn't even hold it. I'd be on the short side, or I'd be a bear on that. That's probably going to go through a new leg to the downside by the way it looks. Today is the day for Boeing. We'll see. I thought the other day or last week we'd have the day for Boeing, but it never really gave us the rip, and it just kind of sat around being a piece of poop. Yeah, no. I mean, even today, yeah, it could have a move, but I'm just not even going to trade it. There's so many other things to trade out there with better looking setups and decent movement that I'll pass on Boeing today. Over that price. I mean, really, Boeing has to get over the 375 to 377 level. So for me, I wouldn't even really be concerned with Boeing until it's up and through those prices for now. Myself, that is. Well, real money is the only difference. That is literally your only difference between simulated trading and real trading is real money. With using real money comes many other factors. Like you actually feel something when you're trading because you know it's real, and if you lose that $1,000, then you're actually losing a real $1,000. When you trade with real money, you're going to get the experience of real fills, real limit orders, real market orders, real exits, real stops. You'll get to actually see how orders are really triggered, because when you're doing it on simulation, and again, it's just simulation, it's not even real. So there's no way that the computer can actually simulate what a market maker would do in that exact moment when you're actually trading. So your fills are usually faster on simulated trading, or just not anywhere near as accurate as what it's like when you're trading. So you're going to get the real experience. You're going to see what it's like to get real fills, real trades, real emotions, things like that. Okay. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, everybody take care. Have a great day, because that's all we have for you here this morning. So everybody, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys tomorrow morning for another stream. And as always, everybody, take care.